Welcome to CharmHealth, your medical records management and practice management application on the cloud. In this video, we will go over how to configure encounter preferences. Topics covered include how to configure encounter preferences, how to configure member chart note preferences, how to assign cosigner for chart notes, and how to configure diagnosis, procedure, and drug preferences. Configuring encounter preferences. These settings are only visible to members who have access to encounter preferences under Roles. From the home screen, go to Settings, then Encounter, then Preferences. Settings in the Preferences section apply to all members of your practice. Firstly, select if you want to allow providers to unlock signed chart notes and edit them. Choose if you want to automatically copy patient weight and height from previous chart notes to current chart note. Choose if you want to enable patient vitals recorded outside the chart note to be pulled into the Vitals section of the chart note. Choose if you want lab results and vital sections to be available in chart notes. If you have the text and voice notifications add-on enabled, you can choose to automatically send encounter details to patient by text once chart note is signed. If auto-compute dispense number for supplements in chart note is set to yes, the quantity of supplements to be dispensed will be calculated by the system based on the dosage and the number of days the supplement is prescribed for. Next, when you add templates to the chart note, choose if you want the templates to append at the bottom or at the top of the chart note. Choose if you want to have a condition related to field in the Chief Complaint section of your chart note. If Enable Opioid Risk Tool Questionnaire is set to yes, and you have the ORT questionnaire in your Practice Questionnaire section, every chart note will have this ORT questionnaire associated with it. Provider will not be able to prescribe drugs in the chart note unless the ORT questionnaire has been filled out. Lastly, choose how multi-select options will be displayed on a completed chart note. Then click Save. Configuring member chart note preferences. Member chart note preferences need to be configured separately for each provider. Members with the physician role can configure their own member chart note preferences. In the Member Chart Note Preferences section, select Provider from the drop-down. Check off the chart types you want to make available to this provider, then select which chart type is selected by default when this provider starts a new encounter. You can choose one of the existing SOAP templates to be pulled up by default when a new chart is started. Lastly, check off all the sections you want the provider to have in their chart note. Then click Save. Repeat the process for other providers. Assigning cosigner for chart notes. From the Auto Assign Cosigner section, you can assign a supervising provider to cosign on a provider's chart note. Click the Add Cosigner button. Choose the provider whose chart note has to be cosigned, then select a cosigner. Click Save. You can also edit and delete cosigners from here. Configuring diagnosis, procedure, and drug preferences. Select if you want diagnoses to be displayed in ICD-10 format or SNOMED format. If Add Custom Diagnosis is set to yes, providers will be able to add their own custom diagnoses to the DX code section of chart notes. If Add Custom Procedure is set to yes, providers will be able to add custom procedures to the Procedure section of medical history under Patient Details. Next, choose if you want custom drugs added to the system to appear in drug searches or not. Lastly, if Add Default Procedure Code is set to yes, you can choose a procedure code to auto-populate all new chart notes by default. Enter the procedure code and click Save. Thank you for watching this video. For any help, write an email to support@charmhealth.com. Follow us on our social media for the latest updates.